Hey guys, Mono here with some hella news here in this developer briefing that dropped today. This briefing goes into detail on 3 patches that will be coming up on October, November, and December respectively. So let's jump right in, and the first news is that we will be getting a bunch of new night maps. So Carentan, SME, Utah Beach, Hill 400, Driel, I think it's pronounced, or Driel or something, Kharkov, Stalingrad, Omaha Beach, and El Alamein. Each of these maps will be available for testing in the PTE this Friday. That's carrying till like October 2nd, so there's 4 days to take part in this PTE if you're on PC. So make sure you use that. Make sure you then give feedback on what you're seeing in these maps, what you like, what you don't like, because these are 2 of my favorite maps. And yes, though they are just night versions, if done correctly, they can lead to very significant gameplay differences. So take for example Kursk Night, which is also one of my favorite maps in the game. I think it's a underrated map because a lot of people just don't like Kursk, so they figure, you know, Kursk Night, I'm not gonna enjoy this either. But Kursk Night actually plays dramatically different from the way Kursk Day plays. And that's because there's fog that's present in different areas of the map, and it's in different amounts of fog in different areas. So some parts of the map you can see very far away, and in others you can see just a few meters ahead. And this is key here. Those areas with low visibility are areas where there tends to be a lot of infantry gameplay. So it just adds a whole new level to the way you play infantry in this game. And that's why it feels like a completely different map. So here from the screenshots, there's really not a whole lot of difference, it seems. Like in terms of visibility specifically, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of fog, or there's just, you know, it's dark enough so you don't actually see as much as you see during the day. It's a full moon. They are adding a star skybox, so a starry night skybox. But, you know, given it's full moon, I don't expect many stars to be seen. But again, if you're on PC, definitely take part of the PTE. And if you feel like the map doesn't play very differently from what it plays in the day version, then definitely step onto that Discord and give the proper feedback so they take that into account. Because otherwise, you know, why are they doing these maps at all? Next, we have some DLC, which you guys know me. I don't really care about this DLC, so whatever, I'm just gonna skip it. Next we have Dive to Prone, which has been reworked and is also going to be available for the PTE this weekend. And I like the fact here that they are giving a really detailed explanation of how this is implemented for 2 reasons. One is that it's just a cool insight into the coding that's going on behind the game, like the game logic. And secondly, it enables us as players to give better feedback, right? Because let's go over these. Ground friction parameters. Players will now carry momentum throughout, which means you'll be unable to change direction mid-dive, and instead only be able to control direction once friction with the ground is gradually re-established on landing, which I guess makes sense. Animation queue system. Players can no longer dive while jumping. Instead, the new animation queue system is used to begin the dive when the player lands from a jump. Now, this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because you can definitely, you know, jump to prone in real life. So I don't know how this animation queue system is gonna impact that. It doesn't seem like it would make sense, but we gotta see how it's implemented in the PTE. Then there's a stance change timer. This ensures players aren't able to dolphin dive by including a cooldown that prevents the action from being carried out too soon after completing a dive. And I am 100% behind this. I think that's a great idea because that will prevent players from just, you know, diving, standing up as soon as possible and then diving again and just repeating that loop over and over to dolphin dive and bullet dodge, which is extremely annoying and a bit unrealistic. Then we have additional ground friction. The duration and speed of the slide has been tuned down to feel more realistic and is now impacted by whether you are entering dive to prone from standing versus crouched, which is cool, I guess. This one's really interesting. Camera improvements. In the previous version, there was a camera limitation as the dive ended, which was a result of the system that controls head bobbing under locomotion switching between profiles. So that's very technical, but it says this system has now been rewritten to be more versatile and now has the capability to smoothly transition between profiles, and visual quality is increased. So I'm thinking free look at some point. Maybe that's just a lot of wishful thinking on my part, but maybe there was something about the camera system, the way it's implemented in the game, that, you know, didn't allow the previous devs to implement a free look system, which has been requested for a very long time. This maybe is the first steps towards that. I don't know, like they're not saying anything here, but hopefully that is the case. I think the game would be greatly improved with the ability to add some free look. Forward speed. The new dive to prone will properly conserve momentum by using the speed that the player was traveling on dive initiation as the start speed rather than using the stance's maximum speed. So this is definitely something, I guess, that was going on earlier with their implementation, and they're changing that to be more consistent and, you know, just proper animation, if you will. Additional parameters: we have disabled aiming down the sights for a duration on landing, which, you know, depending on how long that is, I am fine with that. As well as introducing a camera shake that is triggered on contact with the ground. That, you know, hopefully that camera shake is well done, because I can definitely see that being very, very annoying. But, you know, again, it's right here. There's a public test session Friday, 29th of September until the 2nd of October. So, you know, we'll be able to try the night maps. We'll be able to try the new dive to prone, and hopefully people give proper feedback on those. And they are also adding a loadout bug fix, which, thank God, because I was streaming the other day. I was playing for hours and had this bug go on for most of a round. So that was extremely annoying, especially when you get stuck. For example, I was stuck with the MP40, which it's a really good gun, but sometimes you need a rifle because you're engaging at a distance, and I just could not play with a rifle for most of the game. So let's hope this bug fix works. And again, there's going to be a time to try that out on PC this weekend. Patch 14.5, this is for November. New variants for El Alamein and Driel. These maps will be in the PTE, so you will be able to try them, but they won't be coming in the October patch. This is like a dusk version of Alamein, it's not night. So, you know, I guess it's fine. Again, I'm not seeing a whole lot of visibility change, which I don't like. I think night maps should be, you know, very limited in their visibility for the most part. Maybe some people don't feel that way. I definitely do. So my feedback, if I'm just seeing it has the same, you know, view distance as it has in the day version, my feedback would definitely be you need to make this actually play differently, because otherwise it's just a palette swap. And we're also getting on November the part 1 of the British Forces rework. This is including a new desert uniform, so, you know, shorts for the desert, here we go, and also new British tanks and new British weapons to replace previous loadouts. So they're definitely going hard on making the British actually fun and actually good, which is definitely the right thing to do, because they were completely underwhelming. Now they're adding, you know, here's a new tank, the Lee Enfield #1 rifle, which is all fine and good. Hopefully, you know, these are fun to play, fun to use, and actually effective. I am enjoying the fact that they are continuing to work on the British. They're calling this part 1 of the British Forces rework. I'm not sure how many parts there will be. Maybe it's a trilogy, who knows? But anyway, also new DLC, who cares? I don't. Maybe you do, but you know, it's my video. Anyway, Patch 14.6. Oh, wait. Free weekend on November. So, you know, maybe plan on going somewhere else and doing something else during that weekend, because free weekends can be very rough for finding good games. But yeah, you know, anyway, I'm kidding, but it's actually cool when veteran players use these free weekends to actually teach new players how to play the game, the importance of garrisons, the not importance of medics, and all of that. So if you're a veteran, you know, maybe you have some goodwill in you, you want to do some voluntary work, that's your opportunity. So there's a free weekend in November. Patch 14.6, December, Stalingrad and Kharkov as night maps. Again, these will be in the PTE. And that's pretty much all that's coming this year. Future focus is basically they are continuing to improve the experience, or that's what they want to do. And you will find that we are continuing to release patches rather than updates. We consider updates to be significant content drops, which would include new maps, modes, and factions or forces. Patches are smaller releases that focus on game improvements, community requests, bug fixes, and smaller pieces of content, such as map variants. So I think that's a really smart approach going forward, having something for each month, you know, to look forward to, like 2 new map variations. That's really good. It's more than we used to get anyway. So I'm, you know, really excited about the next couple of months. Obviously, the new mode, all of that, like that's out of the window. Who knows when that is coming? Who knows when part 2 of the British Forces update is coming? But I'm overall really happy with this developer briefing. I think it's going to be cool to try these things out in the PTE and to continue this community feedback loop of releasing smaller updates, asking for community feedback before moving forward, and you know, revisiting changes and all of that. I think that will help the game get much better over time. Yes, there's going to be some missteps along the way, as there's bound to be, but as long as that player feedback is there and the willingness is there to listen to that player feedback, then it's just going to get better. It might take time, but I have high hopes. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on this update and this news. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.